How are we, everybody? It is Tuesday night. It is the Late Night Agenda. I'm your host, Craig, and as always, you're all very welcome along to the channel. There's a load for us to get through tonight, ladies and gentlemen. My God, there's a load for us to get through tonight. Yes, it's the international break. We thought it was going to be nice and quiet. Well, you guys alerted me to something right at the end of last night's stream, and it is, of course, going to be the main topic, I'm sure, of tonight's conversation. But we'll get into all that. We'll go through it, and I have to admit, I've wrestled with this. I've wrestled back and forth on how I'm going to tackle this whole subject. But we'll get into it in a few minutes and we'll see how everybody's feeling. How are we to everyone that's in the chat? Thank you for joining us as always. I wanted to start off tonight with a little bit of fun. Something a little bit light-hearted before we get stuck into the really tough stuff. The whole Raheem Sterling, Joe Gomez situation. So I thought we'd start off with a little bit of fun. So the Echo reported that a supercomputer called 538, which is a great name, I've no idea where it came from, has predicted the outcome of the vital games left in this season's Premier League race. And the good news for us Reds is that the supercomputer has given Liverpool a 67% chance of winning the league title this season. And Manchester City are now only down to a 29% likelihood of going on to defend their title. So I thought we'd start off with that tonight. A little bit of fun, a little bit of a light-hearted jaunt, shall we say, before we get really stuck into it tonight. I'll take that, 67% chance. That's good enough for me. I will take that and grasp it with both hands. It is, it's a great time, isn't it, to be a Liverpool fan right now, ladies and gentlemen. 9 points clear of Manchester City, 8 points clear of Leicester City and Chelsea, with some big games to come after the international break as well. I've got some news coming up tonight on injuries or potential injuries to Mohamed Salah, to Andy Robertson. We'll talk about that as the stream goes on as well. Liam Barcelona, I just watched Liverpool-Barcelona game. I was crying my eyes out, mate. Happens to the best of us, Liam. Happens to the best of us, pal. I'm sure I'll do it myself many, many times over as well. So, what do we all reckon to the old supercomputer giving us a 67% chance of going on? It doesn't really mean jack shit. It just goes through and predicts out all the results. But I'll take it. And the likelihood is, you know what? The likelihood probably is that we'll go on and do this, ladies and gentlemen. But it isn't done yet. There's a long way to go. The ball is living rent-free in the Manchester City net, said Jack. Love it. Love it, mate. I really do. I want to just get through a few more comments before we get stuck into the real serious stuff, because I'm still, right up until the last moment, I'm still wrestling back and forth with exactly how I want to tackle this subject. Domestic Butler, I'm very well, thank you, mate. Thank you for taking time out of your holiday to pop in and say hello. Hope yourself and Julie are having a wonderful time. Bassett12 said I'd swap Harry Wilson for Ryan Fraser. Yeah, we touched on that on last night's stream. James Pearce has poured some cold water on that one. There has been rumours that that's a deal that Liverpool are looking to do with Bournemouth, a swap for Ryan Fraser and Harry Wilson. Again, as I said last night, I've no idea how true that is, but I guess we'll keep our eye on it and see how it works out. Paul Dunning, how are you, sir? Said alright, Craig, hope you're well. Keep up the good work. Thank you, mate. Myself and Connor really appreciate those kind words. Craig, would you want Chelsea to beat City or would you prefer a draw? I've got to be honest, I'm going to say throughout the course of the season, I'm sure how well Chelsea are doing and how well Leicester City are doing. And then in all likelihood, they're probably the favourites to take those other two top four spots. But I've also got to be honest, Joseph, mate, and say that I don't see them, either of them, as being real title challengers. I still think it'll come down to Liverpool and Manchester City. So with that in mind, I want Chelsea to take points off Manchester City. The further we can get away from Manchester City, I think the safer it'll be for us as a club. I've got to be honest about that. What have we got? CJ992X said 538 started as a US political prediction site. 538 is the total number of electoral votes for a US presidential election. That's class, mate. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I was wondering that earlier on. You're a gentleman. Thank you very much for letting me know that. Right, look, let's get stuck into it, ladies and gentlemen. The reason that you're all probably here tonight, the reason that I'm all worked up about this as well, let's talk about the situation between Raheem Sterling and Joe Gomez. So a little bit of background on this, as I'm sure you know, there was a couple of incidents involving Raheem Sterling during the Liverpool-Manchester City game yesterday. He was involved in some potential fouls, some potential penalty incidents, a little bit of a stamp on Virgil van Dijk at the end of the game as well. And I'm not going to go back on what I said during the game. And after the game, I think Raheem Sterling and Pep Guardiola were acting like petulant little brats, if I'm being honest about it. But that's heat of the moment stuff. I mean, heat of the moment stuff we can all excuse. Well, I in my view, we can all excuse that because I know myself, I get worked up during games and I'm only watching them. So I can only imagine what it's like when you're standing on the sideline and you're out there on the pitch. So anything for me that happens there with Raheem and a snidey little foul, or Trent pushing Raheem maybe into the barrier, that's all stuff that I can absolutely forgive. That is heat of the moment stuff that happens to the best of us. You shake hands at the end of the game like the managers did, you go on about your lives, and that's the end of that. But unfortunately, what has happened is the England team met up, as we know. After the Manchester City-Liverpool game, which was I think the last game of the weekend, the England team met up. So Joe Gomez was the first Liverpool player to arrive. He shook Raheem Sterling's hand, I believe, and then Raheem Sterling acted like what I can only describe as a fucking thug. And that's the word that I'm going to use here. Now, I'm going to be very careful in the type of language that I use in this stream. And by that, I don't mean bad language. I mean the language I use to describe people, because I want to be fair. And I know that as a club, our shit, we can't think our shit doesn't stink. We have people that have made mistakes as well. But let's be honest about this. There's a few things here. Raheem Sterling was entirely at fault in this situation. There is nothing but 100% of the blame has to be attributed to Raheem Sterling in this particular situation. He grabbed Joe Gomez around the neck, apparently. You've all seen the scrape that's on Joe Gomez's face. But what really makes me laugh, ladies and gentlemen, about this is that you fuckers out there in social media land have somehow managed to try and twist this so Liverpool look bad. Now, this is what really makes me laugh on this. I mean, there's been many, many times throughout the years where our fans will have done something stupid. Our players perhaps have done something stupid. And Liverpool get vilified, or Liverpool get held up as something to be given out about, shall we say. Well, in this situation, somehow Joe Gomez basically getting assaulted by Raheem Sterling. Some of you little snidey fuckers out there in social media land have decided to try and turn this out that it was Joe Gomez's fault somehow. And there's one situation in particular that I want to talk about, because Trevor Sinclair was on Talk Shite, and by Talk Shite I mean Talk Sport, and he basically said that the Raheem Sterling Joe Gomez situation stems from the fact that Liverpool fans were being a bit too hostile towards Raheem Sterling during the game yesterday. Well, Trevor, shut the fuck up is where I'm basically going with that, mate. Whatever happened on that pitch, Raheem Sterling was going to be booed. He was going to be called a snake. He was going to be called anything that Liverpool fans wanted to call him within the realms of acceptability. And what's within the realms of acceptability? Well, mate, of course, nobody wants him to be racially abused. Nobody's going to accept that. No Liverpool fan would condone that in any way, shape or form. But quite frankly, Liverpool fans don't fucking like Raheem Sterling for very obvious reasons. So for Trevor Sinclair to try and flip this about and go on to Talk Shy and try and blame Liverpool fans for this in any way, shape or form, nah, mate, I'm sorry. We're not going to sit back and we're not going to take that. There's been many things over the years that we've been held accountable for as Liverpool fans. Many things that we've been vilified about. Many things that have been thrown at us on accusations. But this is 100% Raheem Sterling being a snidey little cunt. And yet, that's the phrase I'm going to use. Raheem Sterling being a snidey little cunt. If this was any other England player whatsoever, this would be a massive, massive, monumental story. And you know what? I want to give credit to Gareth Southgate here. I think Gareth Southgate, we can talk about the press conference later on, but I think in the way that he acted, I think I've got to give Gareth Southgate immense credit for the way he handled the situation. It would not have been easy for him to drop Raheem Sterling from the squad after what he did, but he made the right call. And if it had been the other way around, if it had been Joe Gomez and did it to Raheem Sterling, I promise you in all sincerity, I will be sitting here saying the very same thing, except flipped around. I would have wanted Joe Gomez dropped. What he did was assault. You've seen his face, you've seen the scratch. Now, there are levels to this stuff as well. If it happened out on the pitch, I wouldn't be saying too much about it because it's heat of the moment stuff. But Raheem Sterling was obviously letting this fester, and I'm just guessing at this part, but it seemed that whoever the first Liverpool player that came into that room was going to be, Raheem Sterling was going to try and make himself look like a bit more of a man, and in doing so has made himself look like an absolute twat. Now, Raheem Sterling has done a lot of good things. I'm not going to sit here and just absolutely vilify Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling has done some great work with regards to raising awareness of racial aggravation, about racial abuse that he himself and other black players have received, and for that he deserves immense credit. He'll always have my respect for the work he does in that regards, but the mask is starting to slip a little bit with Raheem Sterling. Make no doubts about it, there is a massive fucking PR machine around Raheem Sterling that makes him out to be this holier than thou little saint, which he isn't. He very, very, very much isn't. You've seen the mask starting to slip now at Raheem. You've seen him starting to show his true colours a little bit more. And you know what? He's human. It happens to the best of us. We'll all slip up. But what really gets my go here is when people can't just accept the fault. When they try and play, they call us victim FC. They say that Liverpool, it's never your fault. You've seen all the stuff labelled at us before. Well, Raheem Sterling, apart from being a diving, cheating little shit on the football pitch, is also no fucking expert human being or no superstar model to kids that we all think he is. He has a massive fucking hype machine around him that tells him exactly what to do, exactly what to say. I'm sure. Now, I don't know any of this, of course, for a fact, because I'm not in Raheem Sterling's inner circle. But we all know. We've seen the little snidey things, and this is the mask starting to slip. They're rattled. He's rattled. Manchester City are rattled. Opposition fans are rattled. And they're going to use any way they can to try and flip this around and make Liverpool look bad. Well, you know what? We're not going to fucking sit here and take it, because there's many things we've been accused of over the years. And 99% of them are absolute bullshit. But when we're wrong, I'm happy to sit here and put my hands up when I've done something wrong. But in this situation, Raheem Sterling has been nothing but a little fucking thug, and he needs to be called out for that. You can use whatever style of language you want to describe this situation. That is entirely up to you guys. I'm going to speak as if I would, sitting here with my friends. And I don't like Raheem Sterling. I don't like Raheem Sterling, obviously, because of the way he left Liverpool. I don't like Raheem Sterling because of that bullshit BBC interview. I don't like Raheem Sterling because he went to Manchester City. I don't like Raheem Sterling because I don't believe that he is fucking holier than thou. And I could probably list 7, 8, 9 other reasons why I don't like Raheem Sterling. But I always try to be fair towards Raheem Sterling when I talk about him. If you watch back the Watchalong that I did yesterday, I gave Raheem Sterling credit. I pulled Trent Alexander-Arnold up on the snidey little push towards Raheem when he was going out towards the corner flag during the game as well. We're not absolutely faultless here. But during this game, during the game between Liverpool and Manchester City, that's when all the snidiness is supposed to happen. Now Raheem's human. If Raheem Sterling genuinely puts his hands up and says, you know what, I was an absolute dope here. And not the PR bullshit. I mean a real fucking apology. Not this whole what I'm supposed to say nonsense. Raheem Sterling should come out, make the same type of fucking video that he was making when he was doing the BBC interview to talk about Liverpool in that situation, and own up to it. Own up to it and speak about it like we all would. Speak about it in the terms that we can all understand, and let the kids out there know, because don't be under any misrepresentation here. There are kids all over the world that idolise Raheem Sterling for very, very good reason. Raheem Sterling's a wonderful athlete. He's a great footballer, and as I said before, he's done some great work. But don't let this be flipped. Don't let this be turned around to be anything other than it is. Raheem Sterling, a rattle little shit, who couldn't take the fact that he was beaten by Liverpool at Anfield yesterday, who couldn't take the fact that Liverpool fans don't like him for clear fucking reasons, has gone and acted like a fucking thug. And that's all this is. He acted like a thug. And Joe Gomez, to his immense credit, has acted like a thorough professional. The England setup and the senior players of the England team have done great work. I believe Jordan Henderson tried to make peace between the two as well. And I think this has shocked everybody. I think this has absolutely shocked everybody in football, because when players go to play for their international teams, very rarely that I'm aware of do club rivalries ever enter into that foray. And look, I could continue on talking about this, ladies and gentlemen, until I'm blue in the face, but it's not just my opinion that matters on this. I just want to be honest in what I'm saying, and I've always tried to be honest on here from day one. Raheem Sterling will go on to do many great things. Raheem Sterling has done many great things, but Raheem Sterling is not the fucking saint that he is painted out to be by the media and by his PR team that are behind him. And this is just one of the many things that I'm sure we'll see over the years that will show you that. That's my take on it. As I've said, Liverpool fans, we've done our fair shit over the years as well, but I'm getting sick of Liverpool Football Club being used as an excuse and being poked at by opposition fans and being victimised and being having things thrown at us, and we're supposed to just sit back and say, you know what, it's all okay. Well, you know what, fuck you, it isn't okay. We're not going to just sit back and accept all your bullshit. This situation needs to be called out for exactly what it is, and that is a Liverpool player that was assaulted by a petulant little bitch that couldn't take the fact that he was beaten at Anfield yesterday and let that carry over into his international duty. That's not the act of somebody who's a professional. That's not the act of somebody who is as clean cut as we all try and make him out to be, or as the media have certainly tried to make him out to be. So that's my take on this, ladies and gentlemen. And as I said, I wrestled with this. I wrestled with which direction I was going to go with it. And you know what? It might actually surprise you to hear this, but I think I've held back in what I've actually wanted to say, because I could have gone even further in the way I feel about it. I could have gone into the hypocrisy that Raheem Sterling shows on a weekly basis for varying other reasons that I won't go into right now, because I'm trying to be measured. And yeah, this is me trying to be measured in my approach towards this situation. So I want to firstly condemn Raheem Sterling for his actions. I want to congratulate Gareth Southgate in the way he handled it. I want to congratulate Joe Gomez and the other Liverpool players that were part of that England camp on the way they went about things as well. And I want this to be used as an example that it's not always down to Liverpool players. It's not always us that are dickheads. But don't you dare try and flip this, all you little fuckers out there in social media land who hate Liverpool. Don't even try and flip this towards us, because you can't. You can come up with whatever bullshit rationalisation you want to try and make out like Sir fucking Raheem of Manchester is as crystal clean as you want. He isn't. He's a dickhead, and it showed yesterday. And they're just simple facts, ladies and gentlemen. Raheem Sterling acted like a dickhead. There's no two ways about it. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let me turn it over to you and see how you're all feeling today. Shanzo said, why does everybody dislike Liverpool? Because we're so good they can't take it. Look, mate, they dislike us for varying reasons. At the moment, it's fear. We didn't have this 3-4 years ago. We didn't have the same level of scrutiny towards everything that we do. I mean, I'm constantly, one of the questions I'm being asked on any interview I do, any recording I do is, why do opposition fans hate Liverpool fans so much? And why are Liverpool not liked so much? And how is it for us to answer that? We can't answer that. We can only give our side of it and our take on it. And for me, fear is the answer. Have we done some stuff over the years as a fan base that's wound other clubs up? Most likely. But you know what they really can't take? What this really boils down to, the real crux of this matter is, they can't take how behind our club and our team that we are. They can't take the fact that we stay behind our boys and our manager 100%. They can't take the fact that our crowd are second to none. They can't take the fact that Liverpool Football Club supporters are a completely different breed. And yes, I'm going to keep saying that. We are a completely different breed. We have a different music scene. We have a different culture. We have a different way around supporting our football club that reaches to every single corner of the globe. And I am so, so proud to be a very, very small part of that fan base and to be on here with you guys talking about a club that we love. And I am fucked if I'm just going to sit back and allow people to vilify a group of people who I've only ever seen be kind, caring, work with food banks, do charity work, help out other supporters, sort out people when they were left behind, give them train fare, give them match tickets, do so much good work that everybody seems to be happy to forget about. Liverpool Football Club supporters are some of the best in the world. That needs to be a fucking said. You can't just vilify us whenever you want. You can't just sit back and throw shit at us and think that we're just going to sit here and say nothing about it. Quite frankly, you can all kiss my ass, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of many other Liverpool fans. You can kiss all their asses as well, because we are proud of our football club. We are proud of those men that take that pitch every week. We are proud of the ladies team that take that pitch every week. We are proud of the underage teams that take that pitch every week, and we are proud of the guys that run this football club. And we're never going to stop being proud, and we're never going to stop singing, we're never going to stop supporting, we're never going to stop speaking our minds. And you guys can vilify us all you want, as I said, but it won't fucking change a thing. Never ever going to change. We're a different breed. You need to realise that. It's not going to stop, ladies and gentlemen. The song goes, we're never going to stop. Never gonna stop. Right, ladies and gents, what have we got? Napoleon was 5'11". We should have called Napoleon Complex the Sterling Complex. 5'1", I think, was he not? 5'11's taller than me, for fuck's sake. Billy Lar said, credit to Joe Gomez for his professional manner. Absolutely, Billy. I second that, mate. Sterling said to Gomez, are you the big man on English duty? Yeah, apparently he said something along those lines. Is it a bit of a Napoleon complex? That isn't for me to say, but it was obviously festering with Raheem, and he let it get to him, and it carried over into his international duty. Nearly cried earlier watching the new Inside Anfield. Real fans number one. Mate, I can't say how many times, I can't say this, excuse me, over and over again. We use the phrase different breed to describe Liverpool fans, and what I've seen, and I'm going to go further than Liverpool fans. I'm going to talk about Scousers. I'm going to talk about Scousers for a minute. So I'm Irish, as you guys clearly know. I've visited the city of Liverpool on many occasions. And what I've only ever seen and felt is love, friendship, welcoming, salt of the earth, do anything for you people who are proud of their city. And if that is a fucking sin, if it is a sin for Scousers to be proud of a wonderful city, to be fighters, to never give up, to help each other out, to look out for their neighbours, whether they red, whether they blue, whether you're black, white, Christian, Protestant, Catholic, Protestant, wherever you come from, all walks of life. The city has a proud maritime heritage. The city has welcomed in immigrants from all around the world, and the city has welcomed in many of my own, many Irish people that have gone over to the city as well. I cannot tell you how much I love that city and how much I love Scousers. They are a wonderful, wonderful group of people. I've never known anybody who's gone over there from our side and had any issues. I've always been welcomed, whether reds or blues. I've always had crack with people. They've always been great fun. Their sense of humour is tremendous. But what I want to get across more than anything else, and it's something that really annoys me when people talk about Scousers, I've never, outside of Ireland, because I think Irish people are the best in the world and call me biased on that, I've never met people like the Scousers. They will give you their last fucking cent. They will do anything for you. And it really, it shouldn't get to me as much as it does because I'm not from the city. But I'm very protective of my friends from Liverpool. I'm very protective of the city that I think should be held as a bastion of hope, a city that should be held up as the right way of doing things, a city that didn't crumble, a city that stuck together, fought together, stood together, a city that always looks out for each other, a city that helps, and a city that are more than willing to help other people. I guess what I'm trying to say here, ladies and gentlemen, is it hurts when Liverpool and their fans are vilified because it means more to us. Because it means more to us as a fan base. I'm sorry I'm kind of going off on one here a little bit, and I'm sorry I'm going around in circles, but this is quite an emotional subject for me, because for people to be vilified because of economic circumstance often is one of the things thrown at Liverpool. That's the beauty of Liverpool. Even if they only had a fiver, they'd give you 250 of it. They'd give their neighbours that fiver if they were in need. So for people to try and piss all over that group of people, it's always baffled me, because I wish I had some of the traits that Scousers have. I wish I had some of that iron will. I wish I had some of that get up and go attitude. I wish I had that sense of humour that they have. So any Scousers watch, any people from Liverpool, just know that other people around the world don't view you in the way that these small-minded assholes try to paint a picture of you. We've visited Liverpool. We know what the city's like. We know what the people are like. And you should be damn proud of that city. And you should be damn proud of your football club. And you should be damn proud of each other. So don't let anybody get you down, because you guys don't deserve it. Right, they just hate it when they get beat or they get put out, said Shay. Negatively growing at City at the moment. Negativity is growing at City at the moment, said Ashwan. Yeah, and look, football is football. But sometimes it goes beyond football. And that's when it starts to stink. That's when we need to push aside our tribalisms, and that's when we need to just help each other out and put that hand of friendship out. Raheem Sterling was a snidey little shit, and I'm sure Raheem Sterling regrets his actions, but fuck me, this holier than thou attitude does my head in. This whole I can't even bring myself to say it because I'll get myself into trouble, so I'm just bite my tongue and push it back over to you guys. Scousers and Irish are very alike, said Shay. Well, I think there's no accident there. I mean, a lot of Irish did emigrate over there over the years as well, when there was no work or no jobs and fuck all food here as well. The reason rivals don't like us is because they're worried that if we win the league, we'll never shut up about it. But the funny part about that is, and that is true, Benjamin, the funny part about it is, what are we supposed to do? What would you do, opposition fans, if you won the league? Would you sing about it? Would you shout about it? Would you have a party? Would you celebrate it? Would you hold your team up in high esteem? That's exactly what we do. But why is it different when we do it? Why is it different when we sing about our club? Why is it different when we remind you that we've got 6 European Cups? Why is it different when we sing about our players and hold them up in such high esteem? Why is that different? Why are we vilified for that? Because we don't sing songs like Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. Why? Because our fans have got creativity. Our fans are out there writing songs that I couldn't fucking write. I'm not going to take any credit for some of that hard work. But the likes of Boss Night, all the little boutique industries around Liverpool Football Club, I love it. I absolutely love being a small part of this. I haven't shut up for the last 4 years, said boy, exactly, and you shouldn't have to, mate. You're a Leicester City fan, you guys won the league. You should be singing about that for as long as you want to. You should be celebrating that, mate, for as long as you want to, because you deserved it and it was a tremendous achievement. And you won't get one bit of begrudgery from me about it, buddy, because I celebrated it probably with you. It was a tremendous, tremendous achievement. And why shouldn't you? You've got every fucking right to celebrate it, boy, mate, and so will we. And so did we last season. If we go on and lift the Premier League this year, then yeah, basically, we're going to own the fucking internet like we always do. We're going to own social media like we always do. We're going to sing from the rooftops and we're going to party, motherfuckers. And we're going to party unlike anybody else before us. Stuart Ferguson said future England captain, England management should fine him. Look, as I said, I think Gareth Southgate did really well in the way he handled it. I want to give credit to Gareth Southgate. I mean, I've got no vested interest in wanting England to do well, but fair play. I've been very impressed with Gareth Southgate in the way he's gone about that job from the start. Yeah, I think he deserves credit. I know a lot of people don't give a shit about the English national team, and I particularly don't give a shit because I'm Irish, but I want to give credit where it's due, and I think Gareth Southgate's done a very good job there. The press conference today, he deflected a little bit, but he also has to protect the rest of the squad, so I get where he's coming from. Where are the crisps though, boy? Said Professor Love for me. I don't know what that's about, but if there's crisps going, mate, I'll have some. I'll share in those crisps. Media Centre Man said people are jealous of Liverpool's history and the magic that a title would do or add to it. Yeah, they're quick enough to call us bottlers, mate. Imagine calling a team that got 97 points bottlers. Calling a team that lost to an incredible Manchester City run of games. For Manchester City to go and win 14 games in a row last season, immense credit to them. Fair play to them. They deserve to win that league and I won't begrudge them it one bit. But what I won't have is us being called bottlers. And what I won't have is those... And let's be fully frank about this. There's a fair chunk of Manchester City fans that are fucking blow-ins that didn't even hear of the club 5 years ago. And yes, I know there are a section of hardcore loyal fans, a very big section, that have been there for quite a while. But don't kid yourself into thinking that some of these trolling little shits aren't blow-ins that only heard of Manchester City when it was taken over. To be honest, Craig, most English people don't give a toss about the English team, said Stephen. I'm going to take your word for that one, mate. Kira, how are you? Welcome. Peter Van der Shan said Liverpool are the most decorated team in the UK. Fact. Shay Trainer said we're going to qualify for the Euros, Craig, in regards to Ireland. I hope so, Shay, but my head says no, mate. I mean, it's going to be a very, very big game against Denmark, and I hope to God for the country that it gets done, but I honestly don't think it'll happen. But I hope I'm proved wrong. Rival fans do horrible chants too, said Darryl Brennan. Yes, they do. I've seen fans from London. Well, I'll be honest, because I was there, so I can speak. I've seen Chelsea fans wave fivers at Liverpool fans and tenors like they've never seen one before. Why? Because they're from the northeast is it the northeast? And you're from London. Like, there's no money up there. Like, Scousers haven't seen a fiver before. Are you serious? Like that baffled me when I was there. Do I like Celtic? No, mate. I've no affinity to Scottish football whatsoever. It's a small minority of football fans that are jealous and hatred. Yep. But look, I want to know your thoughts on the Raheem Sterling situation, ladies and gentlemen. So please do let me know about that. The Cop Council, Connor Nibbler, how are you, sir? I'll be going to have a chat with Connor on Thursday, so please do subscribe to his channel. I'm very much looking forward to catching up with him and having a chat about all things Liverpool related. I think we're recording that one on Thursday night, so I'm looking forward to that, and thank you, mate, for giving me the opportunity to come on and have a chat. Went to Liverpool for a week about a month ago, and I truly didn't want to leave. The people are so welcoming, and that's the kind of people that make Liverpool the city it is. Yes, it is, Connor. I fully agree with everything you've said, mate. It is a wonderful, wonderful place. I really don't care about the England team, but I do care about the safety of our players and fans, said Stuart Ferguson. I like Southgate, but Sterling should have been sent home full stop, said Yorkshire T. I think... Now, I could be wrong on this. I'm happy to be corrected here. But I think that he wasn't sent home because the squad kind of came together and thought that it could be sorted out. I think. Could be wrong, though. Eugene McGeever said Sterling's a muppet. What happened with Sterling? I went through it at the start of the stream, Ryan, mate, and it's been well documented. He basically had a go at Joe Gomez. It looks like there's a scratch in Joe Gomez's face. Looks like he put his arms around his neck, from what we've been led to believe. And Joe Gomez did nothing to deserve it other than be part of a Liverpool team that beat Manchester City yesterday, and it seems like Raheem Sterling was still seething over that loss. Excuse me. Skipper Dog said, I've been to Newcastle a few times and they're great people as well. Never been lucky enough, mate, to go up to Newcastle, but yeah, I've only heard good things as well. So like you, yeah, I have a lot of respect for the Geordies. Look, I don't really try to disrespect any group of people. I take people individually. So I try and treat people like they treat me and take people how I find them. I try and push aside other people's biases or thoughts about people. Like if a friend says to me, don't go over there, this person's an asshole, I always try and make my own mind up. I always try and give people the benefit of the doubt. Gomez went to Southgate to stop him from leaving the squad, said Bassett. Raheem Sterling's packed his bags before he got told to stay, said Casper. There you go. Again, thank you for letting me know this, ladies and gents. Jack said, I believe people are sheep. People read Sky News who are already anti-scouts at the best of times and just follow what they say because they're too dense in the head to think of their own opinion. That's what Jack said. Too proud to admit mistake, said Sterling has been wank every time he's returned to Anfield to play against us. It was probably one of his better games yesterday, actually. In fairness, I thought he was probably Manchester City's best player. But yeah, didn't really help them out too well. Geordies are great, said the unknown Liverpool fan Jones. Shay Smith said, we went out and done the job and City don't like us to beat them or even win any game because they all think they own the country because they won it twice in a row. Ronnie Galloway said, Glasgow's good, Liverpool's boss, Dublin and Belfast rule, up the Irish. Yes, and yes, I'm happy to go along with all of that, Ronnie. Ace Governor said Sterling was intimidated all game long, therefore he was so upset at the end of the game. Yeah, I get that. And as I said, anything that happens on the pitch, any heat of the moment stuff, I think most people can kind of understand that. But we're talking 24 hours later here, and I don't know. I can't speak on behalf of Raheem Sterling. All I can do is give you my take on it. I'm not qualified to talk for Raheem Sterling. Sterling should apologise to Gomez and that should be it. Their teammates, this will happen, said Dave Sweeney. Yeah, and I'm sure he probably has. I know he's apologised to the squad. I'm sure that he has apologised to Joe Gomez, and I'm sure that Joe Gomez will shake his hand. They'll get on with things, and we're probably all making a bigger deal of this than they are inside that England squad. What gets me on this is that I can understand Sterling being a little shit, and I can understand him apologising, and I'm sure that apology will be accepted. What gets me is when social media try and flip this around and somehow turn this on Liverpool. That's where I think this becomes unacceptable, and that's the angle that I'm trying to talk about here. Between the two players, that's their own business, but when it goes onto social media and people try and flip this to try and make Liverpool as a club, their fan base and their players look bad, that's just where I'm not willing to sit back and allow it to happen. Red 1 LFC said, hi brother, I'm from Eritrea, how are you sir? But I was 12, never heard about Manchester City, but Liverpool and Manchester, straight away my heart just said the mighty Reds. Well, welcome buddy, great to have you with us from Eritrea. It's a pleasure to have you in the chat. Thank you for your kind words and thank you for your comments. John Cable said Sterling and Gomez had to come together during the match on Sunday, and apparently Gomez was sat down when Sterling came in. Yeah, I think, did he lean back or something to shake his hand and then Sterling pulled him in and went round his neck? Something like that, I think. I mean, look, I wasn't there, so I'm just going off the little bits that I've seen in the media. Do you think we'll get Champions League or stick with the Premier League? Well, I mean, we've no divine right to win anything, mate, but we've a very good chance in both. I mean, it's gonna take a good team to knock us out of the Champions League. So yeah, we've got a very good chance in both. Sterling said story on Instagram, said Shay Smith. I haven't seen. Is it a video or was it a post? But did he was it a PR apology? Is what I'm getting at. Now I should probably watch the apology if it's a video and then comment on it. But I wonder how heartfelt it was, and I wonder how PR polished it was. That's I'm very pessimistic. Let me put it that way. Hey Craig, have other pundits create this monster? The old what's this? Sorry, I want to read this one out properly. Hi Craig, they have, i.e. other fans, pundits, etc., created this monster with the old "have you ever seen Liverpool win the Premier League" bollocks. Well, this Klopp steam train ain't stopping anytime soon. Nick, you're absolutely right, mate. It ain't stopping anytime soon. He posted a big essay, said Connor, as if he was the victim. I haven't read it, but I'm sure Connor hasn't. So he hasn't even got the wherewithal, is the word I'm going to choose to use here, to make a video and actually show some humility. And I mean, he's quick enough to make videos when he's trying to fucking weasel his way out of a football club. So why isn't he making a video here apologising to Joe Gomez and all the millions of kids that he's let down? Because let's make no mistake about it, he has let those kids down. As much as those kids were looking up to Raheem Sterling for all the good work that he will do and will continue to do, and they will also feel let down by Raheem Sterling for his actions. So Connor sent me something on WhatsApp. Right, let me get this up. Okay, 2 seconds. Right, so I'm going to read this out. Apparently this is what Raheem Sterling... Now this is my first time reading this, so bear with me. He said, first and foremost, everybody knows what the game means to me. Everybody knows that I'm not what... Sorry, I'm going to read this again. So I made a bollocks of this. First and foremost, everybody knows what the game means to me. Everyone knows what I am. Everybody knows that I'm not that way inclined. And more to the point, both Joe and I have had words and figured things out and moved on. We're in a sport where emotions run high, and I'm man enough to admit that when emotions got the better of me. We've moved past this. We play the sport because of our love for it, and me and Joe Gomez are good. We both understood it was a 5 to 10 second thing, and it was done, and we moved forward. I'm not making this bigger than it is. Nah, sorry. Fuck you, Raheem. Not good enough, pal. That's my take on that. That is a pussy apology. It's not even an apology, quite frankly. It's a glossing over of the event and trying to downplay it. If that is all that Raheem Sterling has come out with, then hang your fucking head in shame, sir, because that is pathetic. That is absolutely pathetic. You basically assaulted another person, and that's the kind of bullshit that you're going to come out with. That, oh, we've moved past it. Let's not all make a big deal out of this. Fuck you, Raheem. We need better than that, mate. That is absolute horseshit. Let kids down, said Stuart Ferguson. Exactly. Sterling was supposed to have grabbed Gomez by the neck, and Southgate spoke to the other staff and agreed to drop Sterling to Bernadette. My goodness, we're talking about two guys having a handbag session. Move on. The whole point here, though, Chris, is not that we're talking about the two guys, mate. It's that people have tried to flip this to make Liverpool look bad. I mean, the incident itself, as you said, handbags, absolutely not too much to it. But also at the same time, how long have we had to deal with a can of Copperberg hitting a bus? How long have we had to deal with a couple of fucking gobshites pushing a fella into a fountain? And we've been vilified about that as a football club. And there are actually people out there, Chris, who are trying to flip this to make Liverpool look bad. And I'm not joking with you. I've seen post after post after post trying to justify the actions of Raheem Sterling. Sorry, not buying it. How dare he, said Shea Trainer. The good thing about Sterling is that people have shut up about the whole Trent Alexander-Arnold handball. There is that, Andy, there is that, mate, yes, and I spoke about that yesterday as well. If I was a Manchester City fan, I can absolutely understand why they'd be screaming for a penalty there. I'm still intrigued by the whole handball by Bernardo Silva part. Now, I know they came out and said that the handball can't be taken into account with regards to whether it could be overturned as a penalty or not, but you know the way you're not allowed to have a goal that comes from an accidental handball. It would seem a bit strange if you could get a penalty that came from an accidental handball that led to another player handling the ball. It just seemed to be a lot of ricochets. But look, I can understand why maybe Manchester City fans would at least shout for it. I mean, I would have shouted for it in our position. Did I see the new Germany kit? I did, Shay. Connor sent me a picture of it. It is beautiful. It's probably what I'll be getting, mate. It is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, Germany have they have a history of putting out some brilliant kits. Mark Goldbridge said he thinks Sterling was showing his passion, which he admires, and wishes some of his players showed that passion. Look, I can't speak for Mark Goldbridge, and I'm not going to speak for Mark Goldbridge. All I can do is give you my own perspective on things. And the passion needs to be shown on the pitch. And the pitch, he lost. He's got to shake hands and move on. And yeah, he showed passion on the pitch. You could see that when he got worked up about it, but he was a cowardly little bitch when it came to the England incident, and that's my take on it. As I said, I can't speak for Mark, I can only speak for myself. Screw the handball crap, we were the better team, period. Today's governor, yes, we were the better team, mate. And I still think if they had got that penalty, we still would have won that game, because Liverpool went into that game with an ice cold mentality yesterday, or on Sunday, excuse me. And I'm so proud of those boys for their performance that they put in. Clinical. I mean, I'm still wowing over that whole build up to the Mohamed Salah header. I mean, the ball from Trent, the ball in from Robbo, and the finish from Mo. I mean, I must have watched that goal back 50 times at this point. It was a beautiful team goal. That summed up Liverpool perfectly. My left curtain shows more passion than Manchester United combined, said Jack. What's this? Can we have some words on Raheem's stamp on Virgil? Could have been a red. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised it hasn't been picked up, actually. If Michael Oliver didn't see it, then surely that's where retrospective action is supposed to come in, unless I've missed something on this. Yeah, it was a snidey little stamp, and it could have easily been a red. But I have to be honest and say our players weren't guilt-free yesterday either. Trent did have a snidey little push at Raheem Sterling during the game, so I'm not going to just vilify people without talking about my own players as well. And I said during the stream yesterday as well, Robbo's snidiness in particular, and that little smirk that he gave at one point near the corner flag made me smile. I mean, I do love a bit of snidiness on a football pitch, I've got to say. But stamping on someone's ankle, yeah, that is probably deserving of at least a suspension, I would say. But look, I'm not the Premier League. It's not for me to say. That was the point of VAR. If you asked 100 people, 50 would say handball and 50 would say not clear. Yeah, the whole point about it being overturned was it wasn't a clear and obvious error from Michael Oliver, because Michael Oliver clearly seen it, and Michael Oliver clearly waved his hands to say no penalty. So those that thought VAR were going to overturn it were in for a fucking rude awakening, because Michael Oliver seen it. So he didn't say that it wasn't a handball. He knew it struck his hand. He just thought it wasn't a penalty. Therefore, VAR can't act because it wasn't a clear and obvious error. The referee seen the handball, and then his decision, and it is his decision, he decided it wasn't a penalty. Pep called Mane a diver, yet Sterling looked like Tom Daly. Yeah, and again, mate, that's going to be thrown at us over and over again. Salah's called a diver, Mane's called a diver, but yet Raheem Sterling, Dele Alli, Harry Kane, and numerous other players in the Premier League go down on a weekly basis with the faintest of touches. But when it's one of our players, the whole fucking media stops to have a go. It is more hypocrisy. But this is what you get. And this is why we need to stick together as Liverpool fans and give two fingers to all these fuckers that are trying to undermine our football club. Southgate was totally right in what he did, just because he's a firm believer in leaving rivalry and egos outside the England setup. And you're right, Chris. I mean, outside of every international setup, it should be pushed aside, because you're there to represent your country and give 100% for the jersey on your back. Has anyone ever been charged for assault for anything done on a football pitch? I think, I could be wrong on this, Connor, but I think Duncan Ferguson may have been done for assault on a football pitch. But I could be wrong on that one. Now, that was just something off the top of my head. Can't beat a bit of the dark arts. It does help if the winner of the titles ask anybody in Manchester. Yeah, you need a bit of snidiness, mate. You need a little bit of gamesmanship, Billy. Definitely, I agree with you. Who stamped on whose ankle? Raheem Sterling stamped on Virgil van Dijk's ankle, mate. There's a couple of videos floating around of it. Right, what else have we got? Dan James is the worst great player, though. Yeah, and I agree on both what you've said, Sir Sev. He is a diving little shit, but he's also a very good footballer. And if he can take some of that out of his game, I mean, yeah, the sky's the limit for Dan James, because he is a very, very good footballer. The dive Mane did was a diving header, so feckle off Pep, said MKR. Was Cantona done when he kung fu kicked the fan? I don't know. I know he was banned for a long time. I think it was 6 or 9 months from football, but I don't know about the law side of it, mate. I've got no idea. What else have we got? The racist chants from the top 6 are jealous of the fact that Liverpool in the Premier League title, their own team, is not in the race. Racist chants? That's got me, Bruno, mate. Sorry, I don't know what you mean by the racist chants. Southgate is a little timid, should have been banned. Straightforward assault. I think he took into account the feelings of the rest of the group, Professor. But he acted swiftly. and he removed Raheem Sterling. Now, if there was a lot on this, if these were massive games coming up and England hadn't basically already qualified, I wonder how he may have acted. But I mean, maybe I'm being a bit cruel here to Gareth Southgate, because I think in this occasion he acted quite well. Craig, do I think he'll be charged as in for assault? Not a chance, no. And there's no way Joe Gomez would want him to be charged either. Look, all in all, as people have said, it was handbags, but it was very unprofessional. Raheem Sterling has been less than forthright in his apology, and the way opposition fans have tried to paint this out, that Raheem Sterling was somehow in the right, or that Joe Gomez in some way deserved what came his way. Nah, they can all fuck right off. Will you get charged for the scrape you left on my face? Connor wants to know. I mean, it's pending, mate. We're just waiting to see if the DPP is going to press charges against you for the vicious assault on me. What else we got? How about Vinnie Jones at Wimbledon? Yeah, that was a different time. Jesus, Bernadette, that really was. Oh yeah, some of those things were mental. Ferguson did 3 months for headbutting, said Brian Morrissey. There you go. I thought I'd remembered something about Duncan Ferguson. Was that on a pitch, Brian? Connor said we just passed 600 subs on Crack On. Woohoo! That's our second channel, by the way, in case anybody doesn't know. Look, ladies and gentlemen, there's loads more I want to talk about on tonight's stream, so let me just go into my notes. I didn't want to dedicate the entire part of this to Raheem Sterling because there's a lot more to talk about. So, after being assessed by the Egyptian national team's medical department, Mohamed Salah has been ruled out of their games during this international break. He's also a major doubt for Liverpool's game against Crystal Palace on November 23rd, although that has not yet been confirmed by the club that he'll miss the game. So I guess we're going to have to wait for more updates as things go along. But yeah, not looking good for Mo with that ankle injury. You could see the ice pack that was put on it yesterday. It's ruled him out of the Egypt's international games, and I guess we're just going to have to wait and see how quickly it heals. Really busy period coming up for Liverpool Football Club. I think the medical department will take a rightly cautious approach. Better missing a game or two in the short period than missing a lot of games in the longer period, particularly with December coming up and how busy that is. So definitely one to keep an eye on anyway. And also Andy Robertson has been ruled out of the Scotland game in Cyprus on Saturday with a swollen ankle. Whether or not he'll be available for the Palace game, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see for more updates on that one as well. Sterling's a cheater in my opinion, to Jamie Murray. Putting the story in public is good enough. Raheem has been exposed and none of these professionals give a toss if they're sent home from international duty. Pep always pulls his players out with injuries, said I am. Yeah, Ferguson was pretty good at finding reasons for his players not to go on international duty as well. Selhurst Park's a hard place to go, said Dylan. It is. It's going to be a difficult game. Look, there were very few easy games in the Premier League, and Selhurst Park won't be easy, but you know I back our boys to go there, mate, and do the job. But yeah, it's hopefully just about getting our players back, and you know when we know that our toys haven't been broken, as I keep saying, we'll start building up to who could take the field. Chappy TV, how are you, Lee? Said hello, Craig. Wish you guys good luck at the top with us. Always great to see Lee Chappy in, as well as Boya. He's one of the Leicester 100 crew. Great to see you in, Lee. I hope you're doing well, mate. And yeah, you're going to get nothing but love, mate, from us. I mean, we want Leicester to do well. A lot of goodwill towards Leicester City on this channel and from our supporters. Who do I think will win the Europa League? Asked Shay Smith. Ooh, it's a good question. I mean, the English clubs are so strong in all competitions. I mean, you just can't look past it, can you? You never know with Arsenal. You never know what Manchester United, and you never know what Wolves. I mean, again, it depends on how seriously they all take that competition. But yeah, I mean, I find it very difficult to look past an English club even for that. But then again, you need to see who drops out of the Champions League as well, because the likes of, let's say, for instance, Salzburg drop out. They're going to be a handful for anybody in the Europe as well, because they're a very good team. So you've got to remember that the third place teams in the Champions League groups will be dropping into the Europa League as well, so it'll make it more difficult. Is Salah getting injury prone? No, I don't think so, mate. He's just getting kicked a lot, and he's human. But no, I don't think he's prone to injury. I think I think forwards like him, like Messi, those type, they're always getting kicked, and because of the kicks, they're always going to pick up little niggles and knocks. And I don't think that this ankle injury's ever fully had a chance to heal, and I just hope that he gets enough rest now. Great mate, thanks for asking. Here's a question for you: would you rather win the Premier League this season and get rid of the Champions League? Well, I want to win the Premier League over anything else, Lee, mate. So if it means that's the only thing that we win outside of obviously the Super Cup this season, then so be it. But I want the Premier League, Lee. I mean, I think all Liverpool fans would say the same, but we also have an affinity with our big ears in the European Cup. There's something special about Anfield on a European night, so yeah, it's very difficult to say yes to us getting knocked out of a Champions League or at League, but the Premier League is. I mean, if we win the Premier League this year, for me, every year after that, it's about the European Cup, because this club exists to win European Cups, mate, and it's beautiful. I love the European Cup. John Cable said, Redman TV also tweeted footage of Robbo pushing Walker into the ad boards, and Walker trying to give it the big, and Robbo just smirks at him. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier on. I love that snidey little smile from Robbo. I love that part of his game. I love that he has that little streak in him. Chelsea might drop into the Europa League, said Badger. I think, yeah, I actually don't know off the top of my head what way that group is lining up. The Chelsea group with Ajax and stuff in it. So, yeah, but even if it's Ajax or whoever dropped into it, mate, that's another good team going into that competition. Marcus, thank you for the super chat, mate. Really appreciate it. He said, so happy to see Sean Cox again. Yeah, it was wonderful to see Sean Cox, Martina and the Cox family at the game. To see Sean watching his beloved Liverpool. Yeah, it was great, mate. And unfortunately, there were some dickheads, and I've got screenshots of some of the abuse towards Mr. Cox that we seen posted in the comment section on here. And this just goes to show you the level of scumbaggery, as a word I'm making up, that can go on out there. But mostly 99% of the world, or 99% of the football population, were happy to see Sean Cox at the game. There was a lovely picture as well of Virgil van Dijk and the gaffer with Sean, and we wish him the best in his recovery, and nothing but love to the Cox family from, I'm sure, everybody in the chat as well. Jojo said, Craig, Sterling was frustrated because he'd just been let out of Trent's pocket. That is true, mate. He must have been smothering in that pocket for the entire 90 minutes. West Ham goalkeeper Roberto was awful, said Casper. I mean, it's a fairly random one, mate, but why not? Trent's battle with Sterling was epic, said Bernadette. It was a really intriguing battle yesterday, and you probably remember me screaming at the TV or at the microphone during the game, why is he so much space there on the left? Why is Sterling being left so wide and unmarked? And I think somebody made a really good point, actually, when Salah went off. That might have left Trent a little more exposed even, and given Raheem a bit more of a chance to get at him. But we won the game, and we won it well, and we won it with some wonderful goals, and the atmosphere was cracking. I thought both managers, to give Pep credit, I thought after the game he spoke quite well. You could see his petulance obviously towards the referees in the heat of the moment and that, and you could see how worked up he was on the sideline. But all in all, between Pep and Klopp, there seems to be a lot of mutual respect there, and I think that's what we need in these. We need leadership like that from those men when it comes to these big games, and there will be some mind games, but that's par for the course at times, isn't it? Craig, would you rather win the treble or go invincible in the Premier League? Couldn't give a fuck about going invincible, mate. Give me the treble without a shadow of a doubt, Badger. Trophies are trophies, mate. Being an invincible club would be nice, but so would 3 trophies in the bank, mate. So I'm not even considering Liverpool going unbeaten. I'm fully of the belief that we'll lose a game at some point. I just want us to concentrate on winning the league. I don't think we should even talk about something like an invincible season until there's maybe 7 or 8 games to go. And then if that's the case, we'll assess it then. It's just about winning for me. It's about winning the Premier League this season and getting that monkey off our back. Dejan Lovren was man of the match, said Casper. I don't think he was quite man of the match, but it was a very good performance from Dejan Lovren. And when he keeps putting in those performances, it's going to be difficult for Jurgen Klopp to give Joe Gomez that shirt. And I can't be a hypocrite. I've always said, if you're playing well, the shirt's yours, and Dejan Lovren played very well in that game. What's the story with Leroy Sané? He's out with a long-term injury, Daryl. Very long-term injury. I think It should be. Is it the new year maybe when he's back? But I never like to hear or see any player picking up an injury that keeps them out for a prolonged period. So again, I wish him a speedy recovery. Genuinely. Why 15 dislikes? You don't normally have that many. Don't know. Don't care. Honestly, mate, people probably don't like me talking about Raheem Sterling in that way, but I always come on to give my honest opinion. I couldn't give a fuck how many dislikes there are on the stream. Discarded Ant, honestly, don't care. Doesn't mean anything. I don't care if people like me or don't like me. I really don't. I just turn on the microphone, turn on the camera, talk to you guys and give my honest opinion. If people dig it, that's great. If people don't, then that's their own free will. Have I seen the Scotland top? No, Scotty, I haven't, mate. I haven't seen the new Scotland top, but Scotland have had some belter shirts over the years as well. Shay said, I think Celtic will do well in the Europa League. Tremendous win, mate. Tremendous win away at Lazio. And again, we can't speak about Celtic and having their great win without talking about Rangers having a good win again at home to Porto. So I'd love to see Scotland get that second Champions League place back, and if both clubs continue to do well in Europe, then that may well be the case. Sané left City. No, he hasn't. He didn't leave City. He's still a Manchester City player. There was talk of him going to Bayern Munich, but it didn't work out. He's everything I'm aware of. He's still a Manchester City player, John. There was a lot of talk of him moving to Bayern Munich, but he got injured. John said, Craig Belter shirt, shame not a Belter squad to fill them. Look, mate, I'm a Republic of Ireland fan, so I feel your pain. I get where you're coming from. Scotty said it's 65 quid on JD Sports if you want to have a look. I'll definitely have a look, mate. Yeah, but that German shirt is something special, isn't it? I probably think I'll end up getting that as well. Although since New Balance have started making the Irish shirts, I mean, they've made some good shirts as well. Ireland kit this year is looking fine, said Shay. Yeah, New Balance are making some really good shirts. I'm just glad to get away from Umbro. God, I hate Umbro so much, and nothing to do with the Everton link. I just think it's not a great brand, and I'm happy to have Ireland wearing New Balance, and it was great when we had Adidas back in the day as well. Darryl Brennan said, I found it hilarious when an Everton fan, the post-match stream, said Everton won't stand for this. Yeah, that made me giggle, Darryl, as well. And I absolutely remember the comment you're talking about 100%. Yeah, like, what the fuck are Everton going to do about it? Everton won't stand for this type of nonsense. Liverpool being the top of the Premier League. Yeah, okay, mate. Sure, yeah, it does make me smile still, Darryl. It's a good show. What part of Ireland am I from? I'm from Dublin, Shay, but I live in Wexford now. I've lived in Wexford for many years. You're from Belfast. I fucking love Belfast, Shay. I absolutely love it. Anytime my wife and I get away for a weekend and stay in Ireland, Belfast is our destination of choice, mate. I love it up there. Really friendly people, great city, steeped in history, lots of fun. Yeah, I mean, I would encourage everybody to visit Belfast if they get a chance. It's a wonderful place. Bernadette Farrell said, Klopp keeps improving every player. The weak links are becoming a thing of the past. I love when I can read a comment like that and just sit back and smile, knowing that you've nailed it, Bernadette. It's absolutely spot on. It's beautiful. It is fucking beautiful, and you're right. The weak links are a thing of the past, and Liverpool aren't going anywhere anytime soon. And you guys sit back and enjoy it, because you've heard me say this many times. The journey is part of the fun. These little moments, that win against Manchester City, the late goals that we scored, the Henderson mistake, by Henderson I mean the keeper that gave us the win against Sheffield United, the late penalty against Leicester City, Origi last season against Everton, the comeback against Barcelona. We'll celebrate if and when we win any other league titles, or if we win a European Cup again, or if we win an FA Cup, or whatever it might be. But I like celebrating those little moments as well, because they make me smile, and they're the things I look back on. Like, people still now saying that they're watching back the Barcelona game, for instance, and are nearly coming to tears. That was as important as the final. The journey is part of the fun. The journey is part of the process. So is all the losses that we've had and the heartache that we've had. Losing out on that league title last season would mean if we won it this season, it would probably be all the sweeter. And it definitely affected the players. Affected them in the way that they came out this season with a steel mentality. A mentality that they weren't going to feel what they felt last season. Coming so close but not quite getting over the line. This season, those mentality monsters have come out with a fuck you attitude, and I mean that in the kindest possible way. They're not going to feel that again. They want to win. They're winners. That's a group of winners that Jurgen Klopp and this club have put together, and it's a pleasure to get to watch these guys play week in and week out. Even the younger players, when they came in for the Arsenal game in the League Cup, wow, what an occasion that was, and what a game both sides put on. 5-5, and for Liverpool to go through all penalties. I mean, nobody deserved to lose that game. It was a wonderful night's football, tremendous entertainment, and some really good young players on show. And again, it's part of our journey. It's part of the development of those younger players. And a night that Curtis Jones and Kylian Kelleher, just to pick out two, will never forget. Kylian Kelleher saving a penalty in front of the Kop, and Curtis Jones scoring the winning penalty in front of the Kop in his home city. He'll never forget that. No matter what he goes on to achieve in his career, that will always be in his mind. And if Kylian Kelleher doesn't make it at Liverpool Football Club for whatever reason, or goes on and has a career somewhere else, he'll never forget saving that penalty in front of the Kop. He'll never forget turning it around and looking into the Kop and seeing thousands of people looking back at him adoringly, waving their fists at him, showing how much they love them, showing how much it meant to them. They're moments that will never leave these guys, and yeah, they'll never leave me either. The moments that we've shared on here, the fun that we've had. I mean, don't let other people belittle these achievements for you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let opposition fans ruin it for you. Don't let their snidey little remarks get to you. Because come on here, where we'll enjoy it together. We're with like-minded people, and we'll stick two fingers up to the rest of the world and say, fuck you, deal with it. Because that's really how I feel as a Liverpool fan. I am so proud to be a part of this amazing family, and fuck you to anyone that tries to come in and belittle our family, because you're going to get short shrift from me anyway. Right, what else we got? Did I delete the Fight Companion stream? No, I didn't delete it, mate. I say I didn't delete it. It's kind of invisible, put it that way. Yeah, there's just no point in leaving it up. I mean, it's not going to be something that people are going to go back and watch. So we didn't delete it, but you won't be able to find it either. Sepp Vandenberg looks very good. Looks like our Dutch player, said Shay. Yep, he does. And Kian Hoover as well. I mean, he looks an absolute steal. Really looking forward to seeing him develop. I hope Kelleher and Jones break into the first team in a few years, said Bassett. So do I. And I think, whatever about Kylian Kelleher, because it would be difficult as a goalkeeper, I think you won't deny Curtis Jones. He's just too good. There's no denying that guy. He's going to be a Liverpool first team player. Peter van der Shan said, best Dutch player I've seen in the Premier League was Dennis, as in Bergkamp. What a footballer, Peter. What a footballer. It was a pleasure to see Dennis Bergkamp play the game, and I mean that sincerely. Yeah, he's a wonderful footballer, mate. An absolute baller of the highest order. What else we got? Lovren has got a lot of ability. That was never in doubt. He's just prone to add horrendous error, said Matthew. Unfortunately, it happens occasionally, mate, but when he's on song, as you've said, he is a tremendous defender. Love Dublin. I got down for the Ireland matches, said Shay. Thank you, mate. It's a good city. I'm proud to be from Dublin. But just like many people from Dublin, I can't afford to live in Dublin anymore, so I live in Wexford now, and I'm very happy living down here. It's a wonderful place. Klopp is training Hoover and Williams to be like Trent, said Badger. I mean, for those younger players as well, to get to come in and work with the players they have, the coaching staff that's there, and under Jurgen Klopp, it must be a dream. I mean, imagine, don't underestimate the pull that this football club now has, and Klopp himself said it. Even the big players now want to come and play for Liverpool Football Club because we are where it's at right now. And the fans have to take a massive part of that, and I have to take a massive compliment from that as well, because the atmosphere inside Anfield is like no other. And I mean no other. I know people say that it's overhyped at times and stuff, but it can turn a game and it can break anybody. And that needs to be respected. And look, it's not every week. Of course there are dull times at Anfield. Of course there are times where the crowd aren't quite up for it. But when they're needed, when it's big time, when it's shit or get off the pot, Liverpool fans stand up and be counted. And that stadium fucking shakes to its core. And it's a beautiful place, and there's nowhere like it. Fair play to Leicester. They seem to have really good coaches. Bassett, Leicester are doing brilliant, mate. Couple of additions. I mean, somebody said Ziyech. Boy, actually, if you're still in the chat, or Lee, if you're still watching, mate, What are your thoughts on Ziyech? And of course, I'll talk about this with Boya on Friday, because Boya's going to come on for a chat on Friday, and I'm really looking forward to having a catch up with him. And thank you to Cash as well, by the way, for last night. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch back last night's stream, I caught up with the great and wonderful Cash Boyle. It's always a pleasure to have a chat with her, so I really enjoyed that. As a Norwegian, I love John Arne Risa, said Marcus. Thank you again for the super chat, buddy. Oh, so that's a Norwegian krona. I always wondered what it was when I just seen NOK or NOK. Thank you, mate, and thank you for the super chat, and thank you for your comments, as always. John Hamilton said, oh, well, that's kind of a given all the time with him, isn't it? Hope Leicester finish second behind us and City come fifth behind Sheffield United, said Bassett. Who remembers Kyriakos? Yes. The big Greek. He was a monster of a man, actually, wasn't it? Is it Sotiris Kyriakos? Was that his first name? Wasn't the greatest of Liverpool players, mate, but yeah, big fella. Boya said, great link, but still waiting for somebody reliable to come out with it. When I heard it, Anthony, I just thought, shit, that would be a pretty good move for Leicester. And a gettable player as well, but one that would suit the system really well. When I seen it, I thought, ooh, there's something to this. That'd be a great link for Leicester. 40-year-old Virgil said, Craig, you seen the Virgil interview on the Goal YouTube channel? It's class. I haven't, mate. No, I don't really watch much stuff on YouTube because I don't really have much time. Does Cash Boyle have a social media to follow? Yes, it's at Cash Boyle. Exactly as you've wrote it in there, mate. Just at Cash Boyle, CashBoyle on Twitter, and you'll find her on there. If not, have a look at the Anfield Agenda Twitter account, because I've been interacting with her on there, so you'll be able to follow her on there. But as Connor has put in, it's at Cash Boyle. What have we got? Just a reminder, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I won't be streaming tomorrow, and I won't be streaming on Thursday, so it'll be Friday night when I'm back. I'm going to take a couple of days off over the international break. I will be going over, though, to the COP Council to have a chat with Connor, so again, make sure you tune into that, and of course I'll tweet out that link, and I'll share the link as well on other media platforms when I do that little chat with Connor. I'm really looking forward to being a guest for a change. It's going to be a nice change. Badger said, did you see True Geordie's kick-off with the Manchester City fan rambling on about how good City are and VAR was man of the match? I didn't, no. I mean, big fan of True Geordie and the kick-off, but I couldn't give a fuck what the Manchester City fan has to say, to be quite honest with you. Look, let him moan and blame whatever the fuck he wanted. That's his prerogative. No stream for 2 days. Yep, I gotta take some time off, mate. I've basically had 3 illnesses roll into each other, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm run down. I don't know if it's because of the weather. I don't know what it is, but I'm absolutely wiped, and I've had 3 really bad illnesses that have just knocked the shit out of me. They just rolled into each other. When I got over one, the next one, and I just need a few days off because I'm absolutely exhausted. And when I'm tired, I'm worried that I'm going to do or say something that will get me into trouble. So it's always best with me to err on the side of caution, because I'm somebody who doesn't really have a filter built in, as I'm sure you guys know by now. Craig, did I do a watch along for the KSI Logan Paul fight? Yes, we did. It was I'm not going to lie, it was a shit night of boxing, and I don't mean from those two, I mean the entire card. It didn't live up to what we'd all hoped for. JJ won, which is absolutely class. Delighted for that, really sincerely delighted KSI won. And it seems like, from what Eddie Hearn is saying, the Zone had a ridiculous amount of sign-ups, and I think there's over 500,000 pay-per-view buys in the UK alone. So it did great numbers, and for that, that's brilliant. And if it brings new fans to the sport, then that's absolutely wonderful. But I can't lie, it wasn't a great night. It just wasn't the best night of boxing that people will see. And as I said, I mean that from the entire card. I'm not talking about just Logan Paul and KSI. I mean, Billy Joe Saunders we didn't see the best of Billy Joe Saunders. He's capable of a lot more. Devin Haney, we didn't see the best of him either. It was just, I hope people give boxing another try. If they tuned in just for that fight and that was their first time watching it, I hope they tune in again, because, for instance, Billy Joe Saunders is the type of fighter that the better fighter he fights, the better Billy Joe Saunders you'll see. And I'm saying this as somebody who's openly said I'm not a massive fan of Billy Joe Saunders, but I won't deny the man's quality. His boxing ability is truly class. Wouldn't it be sweet to lift the trophy in front of the Chelsea fans? Second last game of the season. Do that? I've asked somebody about this. Of course, we have to ask because we haven't done it in a while. Isn't it the last day of the season that they give out the trophy, regardless of where you are? I think it has to be done on the last day of the season. I think, but I could be wrong. I'm happy to be corrected. What happened to the KSI versus Logan stream? We just turned it on to, what's it called? Where we basically made it invisible, because I mean there's no point leaving it up because it's not really the type of thing that you'll go back to rewatch, if you get me. What have we got? True, but they've been available. Stephen said Dara. I don't know what that's about. Craig, you doing a watch along for Joshua Ruiz? Nah, probably not, Scotty. I mean, Crack On isn't gonna be a boxing channel. I mean, I got to be honest and clear about that. We're probably going to. Well, let me just say, I've got an idea for Crack On that myself and Connor are working on, but it will require patience because we need to build our profile. We need to get an office. There's a lot we need to do before we really push Crack On to where we want it to be, and we could well be 12 to 18 months away from getting anywhere near where we want Crack On to be, because we want to be putting out professional level content on there. We just did the watch along on there for varying reasons. One, to let you guys know the channel existed. Two, because we thought there was a very high potential for a copyright strike and we didn't want that to happen on here. It didn't happen, which was great. But yeah, it'll be a while before we put out the next thing on Crack On, unless Connor has a great idea up his sleeve, in which case we'll run with it. But for me, yeah, I just see it as a future project. I mean, my heart is here right now with Anfield Agenda, and I want to push this on, and I want to meet as many Reds as we can and cover as many games as we can and have as much fun as we can. And if you are enjoying tonight's stream, ladies and gentlemen, please do hit that subscribe button. Give the stream a thumbs up. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We've got about 20 minutes left on tonight's stream, so if there's anything else you want to talk about, please do put it in the chat. There was one more thing I seen today, actually. It looks like BT are under some serious pressure from Sky with regards to the Champions League TV rights. It's expected that any deal will be well in excess of £1 billion, and ITV and Amazon are thought to be interested as well. The bid for the UK rights for the Champions League for the 2021 to 2024 season started today, so you're probably going to hear more about this in the coming days. But I think, from what I've read, BT thought that they probably wouldn't be under too much pressure, but yet Sky seemed to want to wrestle back the Champions League rights onto that platform. So it'll be interesting to see who wins out in this battle, how much it's going to cost them. But it was something that, of course, you know, us being in the Champions League, I wanted to bring to you guys and let you know that those rights are up right now, and the battle lines have been drawn. So let's wait and see what happens. Will it remain on BT? Will Sky get it? Will ITV or Amazon spring a surprise? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Peter Van Shan said, Crack On only on for boxing main nights then. No, won't be a boxing channel, mate. No, not at all. It'll be far from a boxing channel, actually, which is why we didn't want to get it pigeonholed. Long term, it'll probably be a podcast. Like, my vision long term is to hopefully do a true Geordie, Joe Rogan-esque type of thing where we interview and podcast with people that we find interesting from all walks of life, whether they be famous or not. Yeah, that's probably my personal goal for Crack On anyways. I want it to be a podcast where we discuss stuff that makes us laugh, stuff that we find interesting, but I want to do it properly, and I want to do it when it's ready, and I want to do it when I'm ready, because I'm not ready as a host yet. I'm still learning as I go along. I'm still making mistakes, and I've been very honest and said that Crack On will be our go at trying to make a living from this. Crack On will be our attempt at trying to run a professional YouTube channel, whereas Anfield Agenda, we've been on it from day one. It's always just been for the fun and love of what we do. It's for the laugh. It's to just chat with fans. Couldn't give a fuck about money. That's why we turned off ads. Don't give a shit. Turned down loads of money offers for promoting different bits and pieces, because it's never been about that. We just want to meet Liverpool fans. But Crack On, no line, genuinely, when we launch that will be our attempt at a professional channel. And I don't think I'm ready yet, to be quite honest. So Still learning the craft, as they say. I don't know what the craft is I'm learning, but basically trying not to fuck up too much. And the less I can fuck up, the less regularly I say stupid shit and fuck up, then the closer I probably am to getting to launch and crack on with Connor. He's probably ready. He's got the talent. He's got the technical know-how. It's me that's the big bald fraud. Danny said, True Geordie has a new podcast with Tyson Fury coming out. That is some get, and that'll probably be an amazing listen, I'm sure. I will tune into that one. I'll make time because that's going to be very interesting, and I'm sure both those personalities will gel rather nicely, and that'll make for a great podcast. What have we got? Peter Van der Shan said, I like True Geordie, one of the better people on YouTube. He's a genuine fella, and that's what I like. I think that's what many people like as well about him. He's just a genuine lad that says it like he sees it. And fair fucks. I like it. I like him. I like the channel. I like Lawrence as well. I think he's really good at what he does. Dave said, when's Mr. Crosby finished college? I think this is his final year, although you'd have to ask Connor that, but if my memory's correct, this is his final year. Mr. Steamer said I could come on Crack On as a guest. I have a few party tricks. I'm sure you do, sir. I'm sure you do. I don't think they'll be airing on Crack On, but I fully believe you have a few party tricks. Craig, what former Red did you love to watch but others didn't? I mean, it's very difficult to speak for other people and who they didn't like watching, but I don't know, mate. It's a kind of... I don't know if there is an answer to that question. Yeah, because if I enjoyed watching them, I'm sure other people probably enjoyed watching them as well. One signing that didn't work out because of probably the right time, I think I mentioned this before, the Fernando Morientes one. I was so happy when we signed him, and that just didn't work out. But God, I don't know, mate. It's a strange question because, as I said, if I liked him, the odds are other people probably liked him as well. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I kind of shitted out on the question, but I can't really think of an answer. Is Robertson and Salah's injury serious? Well, with regards to Mohamed Salah, let's start with that one. He has been assessed by the Egyptian national team's doctors and has been ruled out of their games in this international break. I think he's a bit of a doubt for the Palace game. I guess we're going to have to wait and see how his ankle gets on, but of the two, I would say he's the more likely to be out for the Palace game, but that's just, my guesswork. Robbo is not in Scotland's squad for the game against Cyprus as well, and whether he'll recover or not before the Palace game, I don't know. Both of them have ankle injuries. So all I can say for certain, mate, is that both of them will not be playing for their countries in this break, and after that, it's just going to be a matter of how they recover. True Geordie is a lion, said Shay. I couldn't believe it when Connor told me he was only 32. If you would have told me True Geordie was 40, I wouldn't have batted an eyelid. But yeah, fair play to him at 32 to have achieved what he has, to be as measured as he is, and to be as comfortable in his own skin. I mean, the man deserves immense respect. Alright, Craig May, how's tricks? I knew even before I read the name that was Liam Granby. How are you, buddy? I'm really good, and I'm delighted to be, 8 points clear really, but 9 points clear of City, yeah. Who cares about media? Table decides champions, not knobs in the media, said Samuel. Exactly. Fuck 'em, mate, as we like to say in the channel. Littmanen was a silky player. So good he was. Jari Littmanen was an amazing footballer, mate, without a doubt. I reckon you miss big Igor Biscan. Super Croat Igor Biscan used to be atrocious. I'll always just remember him for the Juventus game. Away in Turin. I think, was Alonso either injured or suspended? And he came into the midfield. And I was so worried, but we got through it. And Igor Biscan. That's the game I'll always think of when I think of Igor Biscan. Malcolm said, Craig, did you know that the Everton owner bought the Liver building and that their proposed new ground, Blue Noses, will be able to see the Liver Birds iconic? They like to shite on like they took over the city. I mean, fair folks. Whatever. Everton are welcome to whatever they bought me. I don't begrudge them anything. They're just irrelevant to me. Fair folks. Whatever. They build that new stadium. Well done for them. They're still going to be shit, so it doesn't really matter. I don't think Keane got a proper chance. At Liverpool, no, he didn't. But I can't say why. It's not for me to say. What else is there? Is it our year? Said Donald Bellers Kimball. Excuse me. I sincerely believe so, Donald. But heaven knows. I guess we're going to have to wait for the cards to fall as they may. But I think in May, yeah, I think we'll be celebrating May. But, you know, nothing's guaranteed. And there's a long way to go. We're only 12 games into the season. But to have had 34 points from a possible 36 is an unbelievable start. Considering we've played Chelsea, United, City, Arsenal, Leicester, Sheffield United away, Burnley, I mean Spurs. Yeah, we haven't had the easiest of starts, and to have won 11 and drawn 1, it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Callum said Liverpool versus Everton next month. Yeah, it'll be the annual beating of Everton. I mean, that's just what we do. Liverpool win the next 5 games, said Tilo. Is it Tilo 28 full? The Palace game's going to be difficult. I mean, particularly after an international break, 3 p.m. kickoff, players coming back from all over the world. Yeah, I'm just going to think and take that game, one game at a time. I know it sounds cringy, but we can't look too far ahead. We have to take every game seriously and treat every team with respect, and you earn the points in the Premier League. There's no real gimmies. Jealousy breeds hatred, said the Abigor. Yes, it does. Which is why we got to stick together as fans and have each other's back and have the club's back. And when we see missed fruits out there, we got to call it out for what it is, which is what I was doing earlier on with the Raheem Sterling situation. The fact that people tried to twist that to make Liverpool look bad, I mean, shame on them, really, is the PG version of what I was trying to say. From doubters to believers, Malcolm. I have to say, there's been a lot of cheesy phrases used around Liverpool Football Club over the years. But that's one I've always liked, because it rings true. From doubters to believers. But I don't think it was ever the fans that were the doubters. I think it's more turning other people from doubters to believers, because still people think Liverpool won't get this done. Still people think that that the weight of history will be too much for Liverpool to get over the line and win the Premier League. I think last season told us that simply wasn't the case. To have hit 97 points at the end of the season that we have is tremendous. And I fully expect us to just carry on doing what we're doing this year. But it is all one game at a time. Do I have my diet chav? Yes, always. Here we go. Actually, I could probably do it if I could drink, couldn't I? From doubters to winners, said Callum. There you go. I'll take that as well, Callum. Craig, did you hear that Klopp's wife stopped from joining Manchester United? I'd seen the headline, but I didn't get a chance to read the article, Shay. But yeah, I did see something on the Echo about Klopp's wife stopping him from Manchester United, blah blah. I don't know what the exact story is, but God bless that woman then. God bless her. Chamberlain is... What's this? Camembert as well, cheesy. Sorry, I read that as Chamberlain. There you go. Once I see CHA, my head automatically thinks it's Chamberlain. Our identity is intensity. It's the new bag, said Billy Lar. Liam said, how many points do you reckon City will drop? I truly believe they're so rattled. It's been eating away at them and we're top and flying. I don't know. I mean, it's really difficult to say. But it's harder to figure out where we're going to drop those 8 or 9 points that other clubs need without them dropping any more, if you get where I'm coming from. Like, so, looking through the league, let's say Liverpool need to drop 8 points. No other club is going to be capable, I don't think, it's just my opinion, of going on a streak long enough to stay perfect enough to hold those points back in. But it's just my opinion. I think I'll be a lot more confident on the 1st of January, or the 2nd of January, or the 3rd of January, once we get through this busy December. If we get through December with even a 6 point gap, I think for me, it's job done. I'm going to be honest. If we get through December with a 6-point gap, I can't see anybody catching us. I really can't. Even if we do have to go to the Etihad, I just can't see it happening. Callum said Craig will hit 100 points, believe. We're capable of hitting 100 points, Callum. Definitely. We are capable of it. Kev said there's some quality WhatsApp vids going around. There are indeed. He's been sending me a few of them. I'm afraid the players will burn out. I can't say they won't, mate. I think it's a valid worry that you have. But, we're not the only ones that are going to have our squad stretched during this busy period. But as I said yesterday, let's look at the players who we have that didn't start the game against Manchester City who could come in and do a job. So you've got Chamberlain, you've got Lallana, you've got Origi, you've got Curtis Jones, you've got Brewster, you've got Elliott, you've got Milner. I'm probably forgetting so many more as well. We've got Van der Schans? I read your name out there, Peter, and I was thinking, yeah, he plays for Liverpool, definitely. Kylian Hoover, Sepp van den Berg is what I was trying to say the first time. There are other players that can come in and do a job. Shaqiri's come back as well, of course, from injury. So there are a lot of bodies there. And it's sometimes just about maybe rotating giving 2 players a rest here or there. I think we've a big enough squad to do that and to cope with the rigours, but it's not to say it won't be easy, and it's not to say an injury or 2 mightn't cause us a big headache, but just stay positive. Well, we can. That's all we can do, mate. It's just keep being positive, keep believing in these boys, keep getting behind them, and they're winners. They are winners. 26 games left, 8 points is not too much. Yeah, but it's 8 points with everybody else not dropping anything, Samuel, is the point, mate. It's not just that we have to drop 8 points, it's that everybody else would have to go basically unbeaten for us to drop those 8 points, or to haul in those 8 points. So if we let's take into consideration that every other team will probably drop at least 6 more points. Let's be generous and say only 6. That means that we'll have to drop 14 points. And I can't see Liverpool dropping 14 points between here and the end of the season. I can't see Liverpool dropping 10 points. Maybe 12 max. Even at that, I'm struggling to see where we're dropping them. So I just don't think it'll happen. It's just my opinion. And of course, anything is capable in football. We've seen mental stuff happening. But yeah, I just can't see it. It's just my opinion. Klopp likes to make good signings in January window, said Pat Bot. I don't think we'll make any. I feel like I'm being really negative about the January window, but happy to be proved wrong. But I don't think we'll do anything. I think we'll go big next summer. Is Robertson injured? Yes, Shay. His ankle. He's been ruled out of the Scotland game, and maybe the Palace game. But I guess we'll have to wait for more updates from the club. And Andrew said, not the way we're playing right now with regards to dropping points. Exactly. We've had a bit of fortune on our side, but fortune definitely does favour the brave. And yeah, as even Guardiola said, you don't keep digging out those late results by accident. The same way that Manchester United team that kept winning stuff under Ferguson, they didn't get those late results by accident. It's an iron will, a belief and a determination that gets those late wins. Alan said, yes, but look at last season, mate. It's the draws that killed us. We've had 1 draw from 12, Peter. Or Alan, excuse me, mate. Sorry. 1 draw from 12 this season. You're saying look at last season, but without being rude, buddy, that bears no relevance on this season. We have an 8-point lead as things stand. And for anybody to overhaul us in that 8-point lead, they're going to have to pretty much go unbeaten. And I just can't see it happening. But look, you're right to be cautious. I'm not having a go at you for being cautious, Alan. You're probably trying to be the voice of sensibility here, and I respect you for that. But I can only give you my side as well back, mate. And I think that it's a big ask for anybody to. I'll give you an insight. And my honest opinion was, I thought that if we bet Manchester City on Sunday, they'll almost forget about the league, and they might never admit to it. And I might be well off here, but I thought that their focus would go towards the Champions League, and I have to stand over what I've said. I think that they'll keep dropping points. I think we'll win the league quite handily in the end. I think we'll win it maybe by 6 to 10 points. But I also don't give a shit if we win it by 1 point on the last day of the season, as long as we win it. We're playing the end like the old, or playing to the end like the old United team, said Dave. Yep, used to fucking kill me seeing those fuckers dig it out time after time, but you can't but respect a team that has that level of mentality. And I love the phrase mentality monsters. I mean, that really does sum up this group. Callum said we'll win the league by 15 points. The quadruple is on, said Kieran. I think City should be scared of Chelsea, especially when Pulisic and Tammy Abraham are on form, said it's Alex. Or Alex, I should say, excuse me. Craig, which new player should Liverpool buy? There's so many. Havertz, Mbappe, Sancho, Werner, that young kid at Salzburg, the striker, what's his name? Haaland. There's a few more younger lads knocking around as well that we could probably do with. I know we're looking at a few goalkeepers as well. But yeah, off the top of my head, any of those would do me. But it's difficult because we do have Elliott and Brewster. And when I say signings, my mind automatically goes to a wide forward. I've said this over and over and over again. I think maybe that and a left back. But other than that, we've quite a stacked squad. Morrison, Darius. Sorry if I missed something there, mate. I'm not sure what the Morrison thing's about. Maddison. There you go. Yeah, I would absolutely love James Maddison as well. But I also have to say that if I'm James Maddison, I'm looking at Leicester right now and going, right, I'm young, I'm developing, I have a manager who believes in me, I have a system that suits the way that I play, the club has owners that are ambitious. I'm alright here for 18 months or so. That's if I'm James Maddison, that's probably what I'm thinking. Another year and a half of that club will do him no harm whatsoever, but would I take him? Absolutely. He's a wonderful footballer. Jack said he'd love Ousmane Dembele. We win the league by 1 point, finish on 98, said Alex. Just as long as we do it, mate. I often joke to myself and think that Jordan Henderson is practicing his little celebration of how to lift that Premier League trophy. Callum said there's no way De Bruyne will retire without coming to Liverpool. I don't think we'll ever see Kevin De Bruyne at Liverpool, but he is one hell of a footballer, he really is. Do you think we need another defender? Long term, potentially, but let's look at it like this, Kieran. If Lovren was to move on, and I don't think it'll be in January, because from what I've read, Klopp seems to have closed the door on that potential move, but we've got Sepp Vandenberg and Kylian Hoover, and we have to see how they develop. So they're two young players that are thought of very highly, and we fought off real competition to get Vandenberg in particular. So I suppose it's what the gap will be that we're trying to bridge in time, and how quickly one of those might be ready. So my initial response would probably be with a centre back, no. With a full back, possibly. But Williams did really well when he came in against Arsenal. I have a belief in the younger players, and it's been shown at Chelsea right now, and as Klopp has shown during his time as well. If you trust in the kids, the kids that are at the very highest level, the kids that are at these clubs for a reason, a lot of the time they won't let you down. Dave Sweeney said, let's get to February and see where we are. Be more ready to call the league. Just enjoy the ride. What else we got? Professor Love for Me said, how do I feel about the upcoming World Club Cup? Excited. Really excited, mate. It's the one trophy that Liverpool have never won, and I really do want us to win it. I'm not going to lie. I want us to have that sexy ass gold badge on our shirt for a year. I want us to be known as the best club team in the world. You kind of are known as that by winning the Champions League, but there's not many trophies that this football club hasn't won over the years, mate. And I think to add that one to the L collection would be wonderful. And I'm very much looking forward to it. So yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm excited about it, and I really do hope that we can do it. Konate from Leipzig or Salle from Bayern, I think, would fit in, said Alex. Kylian Hoover is too short for a centre back. He's under 6 foot. that doesn't mean he can't play at centre back, Krishna. I mean, you're pigeonholing people there because of size. What size was sorry, I'm trying to think. The last defender to win the Ballon d'Or. I'm gone blank here. Somebody help me out. Cannavaro. What size was Cannavaro? I mean, Cannavaro couldn't have been too much over 6 foot if he was. Will Liverpool send the best of the players to the Club World Cup? I would say so, yeah. I would say that the stronger team will probably go out there, yeah. I mean, that's the competition I hope we take more seriously. So I've had like 3 different heights there for Cannavaro: 5'9", 5'6", and 6 foot. So, and Doug said 5'8". So let's say somewhere around 5'8", 5'9". He was a pretty fucking good defender, wasn't he? It's you don't have to be 6'6", mate, to be a quality centre back. River play versus Flamenco on Saturday in the Copa Libertadores final. The winner goes to the Club World Cup and probably to play Liverpool in the final. Two great clubs. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting game. I'm going to try and watch that actually, if possible, on Saturday. Why would that be when there's an international break on? That's weird. Surely some of their best players will be off on international duty. That is odd. If that is the case, is it really on Saturday? That's really strange time to have it then, if players will be away on international duty. Club World Cup on Sky. I can't remember. It's on one of the channels, mate, Peter. I don't know if it's Sky or BT, but one of the major channels has that in the UK. I can't remember which one it is. I want to say BT, but I don't know if I'm right on that one. If it happens, who do you think Klopp will sell to bring in Mbappe? Why do we need to sell anybody to bring him in? I mean, I also don't want us to move on anybody that's in the front line right now, because I love Mo, I love Bobby, I love Sadio, and I don't want any of them to leave the club. Is the Amazon Prime Premier League deal a one-time thing? I don't know, and the reason I don't know, Big Man Steve, is because it doesn't affect me in Ireland, so I haven't looked into it. Once I found out that was a UK only thing, I kind of lost all interest in it, because I'm going to get to watch those games as part of the subscription that I already have with Sky, BT, through the Premier Sports, which is part of my subscription. So I don't have to get the Amazon Prime thing to watch those games. So the honest answer, mate, is I don't know. South American leagues don't break for the international break, but surely the players would still have to go off if called up by the national sides. So are they not going to be missing some of their better players? I mean, I don't know, but it seems odd for such an important game to be played when some of their players could be off on international duty. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that. How are you doing, Reds, all the way from South Africa? I love your channel. Thank you so much. I'm going to try and pronounce your name. Excuse me if I get it correctly. Busaway. I'm so sorry if I've got your name correct, but thank you so much. Or incorrect. If I got it correct, great. Well, thank you so much for the kind words, mate. And welcome. Lovely to have you with us. Mbappe signing will be announced by him bursting out of a big fake cake, said Stephen Booker. What's my top 4 prediction? Probably the same as everybody else's, Sean, mate. Liverpool, City, Leicester, Chelsea, probably in that order, but I think that'll be the 4 clubs. Liam Granby said, I got told by my mate's cousin who works at the academy that Klopp isn't really interested in trying to sign Werner in January for him to come in the summer, like we did with Keita, that he is really interested. Is interested. Well, what we do seem to know about Timo Werner is that even though he signed a new contract with Leipzig, there seems to be a release clause in there of around 30 million, so he's gettable for anybody. I think I also read somewhere that release clause has something in it about the club having to be ranked in the top 10 clubs in the world or in Europe or something. Now, maybe that part's complete bollocks, I don't know. And Everton to be relegated, to Kieran Carter. Sorry, I was just reading that and laughing. Not at your comment, mate, just laughing at the thoughts of Everton being relegated. It just makes me smile thinking about it. Shay said, I'd love Werner. He suits us down to the ground. Yes, and he started off his career as a wide forward, I think on the left-hand side, so probably another versatile player that Klopp could use across the front three. Dugout said, I'd take Werner for 25 million. Another channel there, so the Dugout is another really good Liverpool fan who has his own YouTube channel, who I highly recommend you checking out as well. Of course, Connor Niblett, aka the Cop Council, another Liverpool fan who started this channel, so please do go and check those guys out as well. Look, my voice is absolutely starting to give up on me here, ladies and gentlemen. As I mentioned earlier on, I'm going to take a couple of days off, so I won't be back streaming until Friday. And I'm delighted to say that on Friday I'll be joined by Boya, aka Anthony, or well, I suppose it's Anthony, aka Leicester City FC Boya, for a chat about how Leicester are getting on and the Premier League in general. So 9:30 on Friday, I hope you can join me for that. I'm delighted to be going over to have a chat with Connor and the Cop Council as well. Keep an eye out for that stream when that goes out. I'm very much looking forward to having a chat with Connor. And as I've always said to people, if you're watching this, you're a fan of another fan channel or whatever, our door's always open. The email address is there, AnfieldAgenda@outlook.com, AnfieldAgenda@gmail.com. Reach out to Connor and myself if you want either of us to come on for a chat. We're happy to talk with anybody at any time, whether it be a podcast, whether it be a YouTube channel, whatever it is. Our door is always open. I spoke to Connor about this earlier on, and by Connor I mean Connor Niblett, sorry, not our Connor. And I had some help along the way. I had advice given to me. I had people help us out, and if we can help out in return, we'll always try and do so. I've said we're a community on here. We should help each other out. We should look out for each other. We're blessed as Liverpool fans to have a lot of great fan content out there, and to be part of a small section of that is a true pleasure for me and for our Connor. So again, thank you to everyone that's looked out for us, that supported our channel. I'm looking forward to a few days off because my voice is fucked. Physically I'm fucked from the cold and flus that I've had. But I'm looking forward to coming back and chatting with you guys on Friday as well. So thank you for everything. Enjoy your few days. Enjoy the international break. Love to each and every one of you and your families. I hope life treating you all well. And if I've offended anybody in tonight's stream, well, that's your fucking problem really, isn't it? Not mine. I'll talk to you on Friday, ladies and gents. Love to you all.